to Part 1, Latin America, World Geography, includes the Caribbean. I cut off the BS at the front.
Picture is, okay, this is not my picture. You know, you've got your little indigenous booty, you know. But, you don't know for sure, but what are they carrying? What is that large? An anaconda. Yeah. The first time I went to the Amazon, I was going to work at a biological station, and there's a lot of bravado when you're down in these places. There's a lot of, you know, hey, I'm cool, and I was trying to look cool, and before I left, my father had been reading the paper, and he was sitting in his chair, and he put the paper down, and he was like, hey, an anaconda just ate an 18-year-old boy. And then he puts his paper back up, and I'm like, what? So I went down, and I said, so where we're working is, are there anacondas? I'm like, no, actually we're working on the Napo River. We're working on a smaller river. So there are anacondas. And I'm like, yes, cool. However, later in life I did end up working in the Amazon. Who here has seen the movie The Anaconda? Yes, okay, I saw it on a bus in Ecuador. And you know, when it's huge, and it's got those fiery eyes, and it's like, you know, and it's angry. And, you know, they aren't. Like, they are big snakes and big. They're not. I'm going to try and sing on this because the sound is seeming a little funky-esque today. Okay, we're going to try that. So, anacondas are big, but they are not as represented in the film. Oh! Okay, that one is my picture. And that is because it is a non-poisonous little vine snake. So, you know, you're looking at it. And again, there's this, you got to be cool. And there's a little snake, and then it's like, and of course we're like, oh! And then you're like, just kidding. Click, 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 click.
In her terms, she has a couple of different snake types, so you might just want to be familiar with them.
So, but not poisonous. And then this is one people here probably recognize. What is this? Coral snake. Yeah, we've got them here. And there is a special, there's a little phrase you can say so you don't. Red and yellow killed a fellow, red and Jack. Wait, what? Oh, red and black, friend of Jack. Okay, have I got that? Okay. So basically, if all those things are lined up right, then it's a real coral. There we go. But sometimes you're going to have false corals. A snake that is trying to look like a coral. So you'll have similar, yeah, 1 second. You're going to have these colors, but not in a certain order. So you just remember that thing that you remember very well, that some of you know, some of you don't. But either way, if you see a big snake, you know, you just give it some space. And a coral also is actually different. It's not a pit viper, like many of them are. It actually is, okay. It has its venom is in little tiny teeth back here, so it actually has to get a little part of you and gnaw on you for a while. So unless it is on you and gnawing on you, you should be okay. Okay, we've got a few backpacks. If you just wouldn't mind putting that down, great, thank you. Okay, so these are the various things you would find in Latin America, amongst other things. So we are in Florida. So either you are from Latin America, your parents are from Latin America, you know someone from Latin America, or you have no connection. But even if that last one is true, you are connected.
Take a second to look at this because this is the area of study. I'm going to start. Latin America actually starts, I believe, down here at the base of the Caribbean, Panama, etc., down into South America and all these islands that you'll encounter here in the Caribbean Sea. Okay, well, that stuff is going to be important.
We are so close. Latin America, we have economic relations, we have political relations. They are very connected to the United States. So, you have sub-regions, and for this part, you do need to know it for the test. When I say I've just come back from research in Mexico, and people say, oh, how was South America? That's fine, they don't know, but I wasn't in South America. And this is something where it's important, they're right next to us, that we know. So, Middle America is Mexico and Central America.
Know that. Know that. Central America will be the countries of Nicaragua, Guatemala, Panama, etc. Well, here they are. Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. We have relatives in Costa Rica. Your cousin Brian.
Central America, and you do need to know which countries fall into which one, is Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and Belize. Sometimes Belize is put with the Caribbean, but we're putting it here. So if someone says, hey, how's Central America? You think, ooh, is it one of those countries? Yes. Awesome. Okay? Then you have South America. And again, you do need to know what countries fall in South America. We've got various people in here from Venezuela, one from Colombia.
You're going to have to know these, as she just stated. So if there's any kind of memorizing or visualization, that's going to be important. I mean, starting with Brazil, Argentina, Chile, you have these corner countries of Ecuador, Uruguay. If I can remember them, you can remember them, okay? Just to get a visual of the map and, try to recognize as best you can the countries when they come up, because there is a map test also on this.
Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, someone from Peru. We've got a few from Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile, and 2 from Argentina. That's all South America. And then if you're going to, yes. Actually, I appreciate that, but everything is online, okay? So if you didn't get that list, you'd look it up online, and it's there for you, okay? And if you want to come up at the break, I'd be happy to go back, and we can write it down, okay? And then just to divide it one step further, to confuse the issue even just a little bit more, you've got Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile, and Argentina, and what is special about these is that they're part of what's called the Southern Cone. And really, as some of the people from Argentina, you have in many ways, a different culture that is in this more southern part, a different kind of literature, a different kind of food in many ways. So Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay, Paraguay, why, you can see I didn't know how to use my little doodly very well, why it looks like a little happy ghost. That's not quite proper, but you get the idea.
So that's going to be important to know that. These have slightly different cultures and language issues. Southern Cone is from beneath Brazil on. You'll see the countries. You see them on there. Argentina along underneath Brazil, and then you have Chile along the coast. You have Uruguay, I think, right here in the middle. I can't read the map. And also Paraguay. Okay, we'll get a closer look at the map later.
Okay, that this is the Southern Cone. So on the test, you would just need to know what's in South America, what's in Central America. Southern Cone's 4 countries. What's in the Southern Cone? Okay.
Good point right there. So we'll emphasize that in the notes. This assignment is a note-taking assignment, so stop the video and get this stuff down.
And then we've got the Caribbean. And first you have what are called the Greater Antilles. We've got people here from Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. Again, these are big ones connected for the test. You'd have to know those. Then there are the Lesser Antilles, which are not lesser in any way. And you do not have to know all of them. See, a little bonus just happened. And this, Trinidad, all those smaller ones. And we'll talk about them a bit, but you just need to know there are the Greater Antilles, which ones there are, and then the Lesser Antilles.
I'll focus on a map.
Okay, and again, I know some of you are writing all of these down and going through a little bit quickly, but for the majority of you who are not, they are online. Okay. Biogeography and ecosystems.
Okay, so now we're going to go into more specifics about the topography of the countries, and we'll cover this fairly briefly.
just going to talk about a few. The grasslands are a big deal. And if you look where they're, the most famous ones are in Argentina. You've got the Pampas.
Very important. If there's anything about the topography, biogeography in South America, that's it right there. Argentina grasslands are called the Pampas.
And you have a lot of livestock. You have a lot of wheat. When I was in Argentina, the famous thing to eat was basically a big piece of, you go to Argentina, you should have a big piece of beef. Argentina's like, oh no. We eat normal food. Everyone else thinks, right, beef, because they've got a cattle is huge there, and they've got really, it's delicious and it's fresh and it's on these pampas. So this is a really, really big deal that comes from Argentina. Now, it's not my picture, they don't look like that. But when you have an Argentine cowboy, he's a what?
Gaucho.
Gauchos. And gauchos are a big thing there. When I was in Argentina, you go and there are gaucho bars, and there's gaucho food, and there's gaucho clothing, and there's gaucho music. Kind of just, we would have kind of cowboy, all of that. So you have gauchos, which are really, really well-known cowboys from Argentina. Okay, then you have desert areas. You've got Sonora, up in northern Mexico. And then the Atacama Desert in Peru and Chile. And the Atacama, we talked about a little bit on the first day, it's this desert. It goes right down to the ocean, so it's kind of strange that there's such a lack of water. And I was in the Atacama with an ex-boyfriend, and when we were there, he'd gone out one afternoon. The next day, he said, I have something to show you. All right, so we're hiking really up these desert hills, just And then written way on the mountain, kicked in from the sand, it says, Te quiero, Maria. So what does that mean? I love you, Maria. Now, I'm in Latin America, so I'm like, oh, that is, he found a thing that somebody did, because they're very romantic there, for their girlfriend, Maria, since nobody will see you watching and you're fine. Because almost everybody in Latin America is named Maria. Dudes are named Maria, Jose Maria, Antonio Maria, Maria Annabella. So there's lots of Marias, and he's like, no. He said, I did that for you. My first name is Maria, and I was like, oh, wow, thank you. And the point is, he did that the day before, and he didn't have to worry like the rain was going to come and wash it away, because there isn't any. So or very, very, very little. So you have this really desert place. And I'm sure, some other guy brought his girlfriend up. He was like, I made that for you, too. And then there are two really notable ecosystems, really the largest regional ones when we think of this area. One of the Andes, okay, this big folded mountains and the highlands.
The Andes are along the coast of Chile, behind the desert.
And one of the things you find in the highlands is Angel Falls in Venezuela. We've got our Venezuelans. Yes. Have you been to Angel Falls?
One of the most important falls in this hemisphere.
I would love to go. Oh, and I even forgot that. Who's just been to Latin America? Wow, yeah. And you've been there? Okay, so there are a lot of people who've been to Latin America. Just quickly, okay, so you've been to Venezuela and where else in Latin America? Ah, awesome. Okay, quick hands. People who have traveled to Latin America. Puerto Rico. Oh, very cool. Okay, so you're connected in that way. Into Puerto Rico. El Yunque? Colombia, okay. That is very cool. I, too, went to the Bahamas, not on a cruise, but on spring break. So, similar. Guatemala. Spent a lot of time in Guatemala. Wonderful. Brazil and Nicaragua. I went to a conference in Nicaragua, and we did all these trips. Really incredible. In Brazil. Talk about that. Other people have traveled to Latin America. Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Okay, very interesting and definitely connected to Florida in a lot of ways. Mexico, Honduras. I did lots and lots of work in Costa Rica. We're going to see some work there. My boyfriend, the Te Quiero Maria boyfriend, was working in Honduras. I spent a lot of time there. I was at Mexico in the beginning. Yeah, we'll see a lot of that too. Yes.
This is a little blood.
So we have a future trip to Mexico next week. Oh, we're getting ready for our little spring breakery. Not quite next week, but the jungle, Mexico. Yes, and we'll see some pictures of people there. Yes. The Amazon. Awesome. Again, a place where I've done a lot of work. Anyone else who's traveled to Latin America? Okay. Oh, yes. To Puerto Rico. Again, I had a really good time in Puerto Rico. And I was in Del Yunque, which is a park with all these beautiful flowers. And actually, they're exotic, but it's fun. Okay, so a lot of people have traveled there. And someone who's been to Angel Falls. And to me, it's awesome. So this is the tallest waterfall in the world. Holy schmoly.